For India's second wealthiest individual, it's reminiscent of the Hindenburg disaster, happening for the second time in just 8 months. His $130 billion conglomerate is facing a new challenge, this time from a group supported by George Soros, a multi-billionaire known for his critical views of India. According to the Organised Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, OCCRP, an investigative journalism organisation funded by Soros's Open Society Foundations, the family of Gautam Adani, India's second richest man, allegedly funneled hundreds of millions of dollars into their publicly traded companies through opaque offshore funds. The report suggests that these overseas funds concealed the involvement of purported business partners of the Adani family. It delves into the years 2012 to 2018, asserting that Adani associates controlled a hidden and intricate network of offshore entities in Mauritius with the intention of manipulating the share prices of their group companies. The OCCRP report also points fingers at 2 individuals who are said to have led the investments in Adani Group companies, Nasser Ali Shaban Ali from the UAE and Chang Chung Ling from Taiwan. As per the report, these 2 individuals, based in Bermuda, were linked to Vinod Adani, Gautam Adani's brother. So what is the Adani money laundering scandal, and how extensive is the group involved? Additionally, what potential repercussions would the Indian economy face if the Adani Group collapses? Stay tuned till the end of the video to find out. At the start of the year, Gautam Adani was among the wealthiest individuals the world had ever seen. He was a newcomer to the billionaire club, and his conglomerate, one of India's largest, had seen its value skyrocket by a staggering 2,500% in just 5 years. Adani consistently emphasized that this meteoric rise wasn't solely his achievement, but intricately tied to India's own growth narrative. He often asserted that his company's objectives perfectly aligned with the nation's requirements. Building upon his long-standing alliance with India's influential leader, Narendra Modi, he synchronized his private enterprises, spanning energy, transportation, logistics, ports, television, food, and more, with a political figure more intimately than any other business magnate had done before. In 2018, a series of reforms opened the door for Adani to include 6 privatized airports within the conglomerate's strategic interests the following year. Currently, it ranks as India's largest private thermal power company, the foremost private port operator, the preeminent private airport operator, and the biggest private coal importer. Gautam Adani has been referred to as Modi's Rockefeller. However, in a spectacular turn of events, the Adani Group's fortunes are now plummeting at an even more breathtaking pace than their ascent, a decline that will reverberate throughout the nation, affecting both its economic and political landscapes. Thanks to 2 men who were using the global fund for a specific purpose to amass and trade large positions in shares of the Adani Group. Nasser Ali Shaban Ali from the United Arab Emirates and Chang Chung Ling from Taiwan, the 2 individuals in question, maintain close ties to Vinod Adani, the brother of the Adani Group's founder, Gautam Adani. The oversight of their investments was entrusted to an employee of Vinod Adani, giving rise to inquiries about whether they served as frontmen to circumvent regulations designed to prevent share price manipulation by Indian companies. These 2 foreign nationals, Nasser Ali Shaban Ali and Chang Chung Ling, registered 4 shell companies in Tech Sevens from 2010 onwards. The money flowed from these 4 shell companies to 2 Mauritius-based funds, EM Resurgent Fund and Emerging India Focus Funds. Monies from these 2 funds were again transferred to a broader fund called Global Opportunities Fund based in Bermuda. Global Opportunities Fund EMRF and EIFF then exclusively bought shares and derivatives in 4 running companies. The complex trail of documentation that concealed their true identities from both regulatory authorities and the public has been revealed in documents shared with the Financial Times by the Organised Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, OCCRP, a consortium of investigative journalists. This marks the first instance where potentially contentious owners of Adani shares have come to light, following the release of a high-impact report by the American short-selling firm Hindenburg Research in January. The report, which accused the Adani Group of orchestrating the most massive corporate deception in history, brought to light a troubling revelation. It unveiled a dual accounting system, one tailored for regulatory bodies and another for individual investors, meticulously mapping out their investments. Hindenburg alleged that entities under the influence of Vinod Adani's associates manipulated the stock prices of several of the conglomerate's 10 publicly listed entities. This revelation sparked a widespread uproar, resulting in a staggering loss of over $90 billion in the conglomerate's overall valuation. The Adani Group vehemently denied the allegations made in the report. In response to inquiries from the Financial Times, an Adani spokesperson maintained that their listed entities adhere to all legal requirements. The legal representatives for the company responsible for establishing the investment structure also refuted any wrongdoing associated with it. The newly unveiled documents pinpoint Ali and Chang as two of the most prominent investors within the comprehensive scheme outlined by Hindenburg. These documents elucidate a series of specialized investment arrangements within the Global Opportunities Fund based in Bermuda, exclusively employed by Ali and Chang for trading Adani shares. Individuals familiar with these arrangements assert that there existed two separate sets of financial records within the fund provider, creating a situation akin to a set of Russian nesting dolls involving various companies and funds. These intricacies effectively concealed their stake-building activities. According to the uncovered documents, by January 2017, Ali and Chang covertly controlled a minimum of 13% of the available shares for public trading, known as the free float, in 3 of the 4 Adani companies listed at that time. This included the Adani Group's flagship, Adani Enterprises. Their connection to Vinod Adani carries significant implications since he is part of the promoter group, a term in Indian law referring to corporate insiders whose share ownership is not supposed to surpass 75% in adherence to stock market regulations. Violations of this rule can result in delisting from the stock market. The documents reveal that Ali and Chang initiated their investments in Adani stocks back in 2013 when the group issued shares to private investors to boost public shareholding in its then 3 listed firms. This move coincided with the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, intensifying enforcement of the 75% rule. If SEBI were to categorize these 2 individuals as proxies for Vinod Adani and thus part of the promoter group, it would signify that Adani companies repeatedly breached regulations aimed at preventing artificial inflation of share prices. Ketan Dalal, founder of Catalyst Advisors, a Mumbai-based advisory firm, explains that if the publicly visible free float of a stock is much smaller than what it actually is, it creates opportunities for price manipulation. Referring to the rules in a general context without specifying any particular company, he notes that this scenario amounts to indirect market manipulation, as other investors may observe the price rising and be lured in. The American short-selling firm Hindenburg Research also made explosive allegations, claiming that the Adani Group got backing from Modi government while orchestrating the most extensive corporate deception in history. Despite the Adani Group's assertions that it has not received preferential treatment from the government of Narendra Modi or any other source, its expansion has significantly accelerated during the Prime Minister's tenure. Often, it aligned closely with the economic objectives of the Indian state. Adani vigorously refuted Hindenburg's allegations, characterizing the report as a deliberate attack on India, its sovereignty, the integrity of its institutions, and India's narrative of growth and ambition. These allegations have spilled over into Indian politics, with the opposition figure Rahul Gandhi raising concerns in Parliament about Narendra Modi's connections to Gautam Adani. He alleged that the previous Securities and Exchange Board of India chairman is now a director in one of Adani's companies. You see, if Adani Group collapses, it could have repercussions all over the Indian economy. And if this happens, it has the potential to erode confidence in the broader Indian stock market. At its zenith, Adani shares represented more than 6% of India's 2 primary stock exchanges. This year, that figure has dwindled to a meager 3%. What's even more disconcerting is that Adani's decline could cast doubts on India's role as the next significant driver of global economic growth. India's government is now facing inquiries into whether its financial regulators carried out their responsibilities diligently while the Adani Group emitted signals that attracted Hindenburg's scrutiny. The nation's leading regulator has enjoyed a stellar reputation over the past 3 decades since it was granted authority in the wake of a stock scam that rocked the markets. However, there is growing concern that India's financial oversight might have more significant gaps than previously assumed, or that politically well-connected figures like Mr. Adani might have received preferential treatment. That's it for today, and now we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Do subscribe to the channel if you like our content. We will catch you in the next one. Bye.